Hello, once more, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Back here on YouTube doing my Week 9 Big Ten football predictions in the Big Ten prediction video series as we go into it 61-10 after going 4-1 last week in the 5 games there were. And there's so many things I could say about the Big Ten that makes it look so goofy. It's kind of a joke, the Big Ten conferences, with their officials, with the storylines that come out, teams cheating and scandals going on in the Big Ten, multiple storylines this year. So who knows what's going to happen the rest of the year. It seems like the Big Ten's in the spotlight every week for the wrong reasons, but going to this week we have another 5 games, and it's time to get back to predicting that, and we'll start it out this week. Let's get started. Only 5 games, one night game this week, and multiple teams that are looking to rebound and get wins this week. So let's get into it with the Big Ten predictions for week number 9. Oh, man. Sorry about that, everyone. There we go. Got our first game on the table. Penn State and Indiana on Saturday afternoon. This one, Penn State coming off a 20-12 loss to Ohio State. They're still looking to stay in the Big Ten race for the Big Ten East. I think the only way that's going to happen with Penn State is if when they play Michigan, they can beat Michigan. But there's also a sleeper team in the Big Ten East that I'll talk about here as well, and I think has a chance to make stuff happen in the division in the Big Ten East, and we'll get to that in the next game. Talking about this first game, Penn State back at home after losing 20-12 last Saturday against Ohio State. They're looking to get back into it. Indiana coming off a loss 31-14 to Rutgers. I think Penn State's going to get an easy win at home this week against Indiana. So, sorry to Indiana fans. Penn State's going to get a bounce-back win after losing 20-12. And I think it's going to be a pretty convincing win for week number 9 to start out the week. Going into our next game. Maryland coming in to Chicago to play against Northwestern on Saturday. And yes, that one sleeper team I'm going to talk about, of course, on this day is Maryland. A team that's coming in to this game. As I look back at the schedule real quick on how Maryland's done this year. Losing 37-17 to Ohio State. Yeah, losing 37-10 to Ohio State, and then also having a good season in their year. Maryland, yeah, this is a team in the Big Ten East. I think that's going to be one of those teams that's going to be a surprising team in the Big Ten East. I think they have a chance, even though they lost to Ohio State. They still have Penn State on their schedule, of course. Yeah, they still have Penn State on their schedule. If you look at the standings, yeah, it says they're in 5th place in the division. I hardly believe that. 5-2. Yeah, that's 5-2. Okay, they're 5-2 on the year for Maryland. But they lost to Ohio State. They beat Rutgers. Wait, no, that's not right. Okay. I didn't get to this year. Okay, my bad. Right, they beat Illinois last week. They beat Illinois 2 weeks ago. Lost to Illinois 27-24. So yeah, that's right. I predicted them to beat Illinois. I forgot they lost to Illinois, so they lost to 2 games in a row, coming off a bye week. I think Maryland's going to bounce back, get their 6th win of the year, and become bowl eligible this week against Northwestern. Northwestern is one of those teams. They've had some moments where Northwestern, they played pretty good. Northwestern's one of those teams that wasn't supposed to be good this year. They're not going to be good. They're not going to make a bowl game. They're not going to get more than 4 wins maybe. But Maryland, I think they're going to get their first 6th win of the year and become bowl eligible going into this week. As we go into it, as I think Maryland picks up the road win at Northwestern. Moving on to the next game of the day. Here on this Saturday, as we move on to the next game on the Saturday afternoon. Minnesota And Michigan State. Michigan State traveling into Minneapolis to play the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. This one's one of those ones, Minnesota coming off a big win, 12-10 at Iowa, where they only kicked field goals, and I was right about how that game was going to be an ugly game, and it was for the most part because of officiating, and that's what I talked about at the beginning of the video, that it makes the Big Ten look like a joke. And it's kind of what it is. Minnesota only kicked 4 field goals to win the game, gave up 10 points, only gave up 2 yards in the second half of the game, and that's pretty much what happened. So, Minnesota coming in this game, I think Minnesota's going to get another win, go to 5-3 on the year. So, give Minnesota, I'm going to give the Golden Gophers the win this week at home against Michigan State. So, when taking the Gophers at home this week. Moving on to our next game in the Big Ten West. In the Big Ten West. We're staying in the Big Ten West for this one. Purdue going into Northwestern. No, Purdue going into Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska game. Where Nebraska coming in, they won 17-9 against Northwestern last week by 1 score, only 8 points up. So, and it's going to be a game where Purdue comes in. Purdue coming off a bye week. Okay, Purdue coming off a bye week, but they lost to Ohio State 41-7 last game out, and after that they lost. Before that, the week before they lost to Iowa 20-14. So over the last 2 games, Purdue, they've only scored 21 points and given up over 61. I think Purdue needs to bounce back and not give up. Be one of those, and can't be one of those games where Purdue's going to give up 61 points. So I think this game's going to be one of those games where it might be one of those regular Big Ten style games where both teams play good, and it's going to come down to one of those, to whichever team can perform well and not make mistakes. I'm going to take Nebraska for that, being at home this week. I'm going to take Nebraska for a second straight week and give them another win this year under their first-year head coach, Matt Rule, who's become a pretty good coach. And I have no issues with him as a coach. He's pretty good. He was coaching the NFL. He's had careers where he's turned teams around in his career as a head coach. So, taking Nebraska this week. And moving on to our game of the night, future game of the weekend. As we go to Madison, Wisconsin, where the Ohio State Buckeyes, unbeaten, coming to play the Wisconsin Badgers. One of these games in the Big Ten where it's going to be a great week for this matchup. Looking at Wisconsin, Ohio State. Wisconsin currently sitting with 2 losses. Their 2 losses to Iowa, and then they lost 2 losses to Iowa, and then Washington State. But going into it, Ohio State coming in unbeaten, winning 20-12. This is going to be a tough environment for Ohio State to come into. Wisconsin, last time they won a night game against Ohio State, I believe, in one of the years was back all the way in 2010. Ohio State came in, they were ranked number 1 at the time and lost to Wisconsin by getting an upset as Wisconsin won. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. I see Iowa picking up a game in the bye week, helping them out. I see Iowa picking up a game in the Big Ten East-West race, as I think the Ohio State Buckeyes go on the road this week and beat Wisconsin. As we go back to for a quick recap on the picks for the week. Here in Week 9, taking Penn State over Indiana to start us out. From there, I'm going with Maryland on the road at Northwestern to get the win to go to 6-2 and become bowl eligible. After that, I'm taking Minnesota against Michigan State at home. And after that, I'm going into Lincoln. I'm taking the Nebraska Cornhuskers over Purdue this week. And in Madison, Wisconsin, in the night game, I'm taking Wisconsin over Ohio State this week. As there is the Week 9 Big Ten predictions. Hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all right back here next week for the Week 10 predictions for the Big Ten on Thursday, right back here. With that being said, have a nice day. Stay safe. And I will see you next time. Comment below who your favorite team's playing in the Big Ten, if you think they're going to win. With that being said, please remember to watch, like, subscribe, Don't forget to tell your friends to do the same if they have not done so yet already. And also don't forget to hit that notification button below so you know when I upload a new video. And with that being said, have a nice day. Stay safe and peace out. And I will see you right back here next Thursday on week 10. Bye for now. Stay safe, everyone.